Hello everybody and welcome to my second kit build for the month of February 2021. And this kit build is based on the Counterfeit Kit Challenge blog, and you can visit them at counterfeitkitchallenge.blogspot.com to find out more information. What they do every month is give you an inspiration piece, often a pre-made kit, and you go to your stash and shop your own supplies and build your own kit. So this is what their blog post will look like at the beginning of the month. They have a little bit of information, they'll have the inspiration piece, and then down a little bit lower, they'll have a guest designer. So do go check out the guest designer. She was invited and very excited. And then there's a list of the ongoing designers and their inspiration take on this piece. So let's jump into the inspiration. This month's kit is from a German company. So this is a good reason to do this project, in that if you don't have access to these kits, you can take the inspiration from the kit and make it your own. So the first thing that jumped out at me from this kit was actually the wood grains. Now there's also some yellows, some grays, and some pinks going on in this kit, and this is the B-sides of the papers, and I've actually worked with quite a few of those papers already from other kits. Here are the embellishments. There is a lot of warm tones in here, especially with the golds and yellows going on. I'm going to take that in a different direction, and I'll get to the when and why, or the why and how, I should say, as we get there. Okay, I'm going to pause on this piece for a moment because this was the inspiration for, instead of going in a gold direction, I'm going to end up going in a silver direction, and I'm going to make some of my own embellishments based on that. So stick around to the end of the video to see and hear more about that choice. So that wraps up the inspiration for this kit. There was also some bows in there that will come up when we get to the embellishments. But like I said, the first thing that caught my attention was wood grains, and there's two reasons. I'm doing another project called the Load Project, or the Layout a Day Project, and the theme for this month has a lot to do with wood grain and kind of that modern farmhouse feel. So I wanted to include plenty of wood grains in this month's kit. And then I chose this piece, which I believe was a Heidi Swapp piece that had wood grains and pinks, which pulls in some of the other inspirations from this kit. And then I went and grabbed a couple more pinks. This is a Vicky Booten piece that I've put in a couple of kits already recently, but I really like it, so I'm just going to keep using it. And I did add 2 sheets because I really like the black and white side as well. I think it's great for contrast and for matting photos and such. And then I pulled out another piece of black and white because as we noticed in the inspiration, there were some gray tones, and I'm going to pull heavily onto that. And also, as opposed to going with gold, I'm going to go with silver. And so I wanted to have more gray tones and black and white going on so that it goes in that direction instead of in the gold direction. And I'll talk a little bit more about why in a minute. And then I pulled out some multicolor pieces. I always like to make sure I add some pieces in that kind of pull color tones together. Now this is kind of a rainbow print, and that one had a lot of aquas and yellow and pink in there. But this rainbow watercolor could be any parts of the color spectrum. However, that cloud print back there, oh, and this side with the watercolor floral border is beautiful, so I might end up using that side. Now, like I said in the past, when I pull papers, I usually only pay attention to one side, but I always look at the other side to see if they're an option as well. So that cloud print had some gray tones in it as well as some green tones, and those are important to some other choices I make in this kit. And this piece also had gray tones in it, along with pulling some of the multicolors together. So that is why I chose that piece. And then I wanted this print in particular, and it's hard to see on the camera, but the text is actually green on top of that blue, and it has the number 19 there, and my daughter is turning 19 this month. It's her birthday month, and I wanted to use that piece particularly for a birthday layout. And I like the color tone of it's not teal, it's not aqua. I like that blue color tone for pulling in things. So then I chose greens because, like I said, those numbers had green in it, and the inspiration kit actually had a lot of foliage elements to it. So I wanted to bring in the green to kind of balance, to bring in that foliage element, and that'll pop up in my embellishing when we get to that too. And so I found a wood grain in green, and so that was perfect. And then that is an older green print, and this one is a pink fresh. and I really liked the watercolor. I really enjoy that. This one is a Simple Stories, and it pulls in, again, a multicolor, pulls in various tones and elements to the other papers going on in this kit. And then this one is more of a mint, but because I'm choosing different green tones, that's okay with me. I will use those different green tones, not necessarily together, but in combination with other tones in the kit. So I just wanted to have some green option to bring out that color as I'm working on projects. All right, that is going to lead us up towards embellishing. So in the inspiration kit, there was some acetate. I don't have any acetate, but I do have vellum, and I love working with vellum. So I threw in a few sheets of that. I pulled out some more Vicky Bouton, and I am going to fussy cut this whole sheet, birds and foliage. And those leaves matched up quite well with some of the embellishments in the inspiration piece. So I'm going to fussy cut all that. And then along the Vicky Bouton lines, I've got some journaling card cut-aparts from sheets of paper, and I like those as landing spots for embellishment clusters. So that's going to start off my embellishing. So let's move on to more embellishing. I chose a silver alphabet set, which I've had in my stash for quite a while. Once gold got so popular, my silver stuff kind of got shoved to the back. So I'm going to pull out my silver and revitalize it instead of going with gold, which has been so common lately. And then a neutral, smaller alphabet for doing subtitles and whatnot. I pulled out this enamel dot set thinking I was going to go with the gold, but I ended up changing my mind, and there's a very specific reason why, and it is based on what products I had available in my stash. And so I chose a whole bunch more hearts, and I'm going to add in just lots and lots of hearts to this kit and lots of little sprinkles of embellishments. Moving on to the next set, I chose this chipboard piece, and all of the pieces are in this set. They just fell down. Now that set is gold, and I'm going to use my silver Nuvo Drops, and that's the part that I'm getting to. So I'm going to cover up that gold with silver. I chose a sticker sheet that had some of the tones as well as some pieces for layering, for embellishing. I chose this little Prima matte book for more layering, and it had some of those foliage elements in there that I liked, as well as the back sides of the pieces are very neutral and useful. And then I chose a whole bunch of gray fibers and ribbons because the inspiration piece had velvety bows in it. And while I don't have anything like that, I wanted to choose some more of these elegant touches that I saw going on in the inspiration kit. So that is how I interpreted those things. Let's get on to the embellishments that I created myself based on those heart puffy stickers. Now, I was going to make those heart puffy stickers out of gold because I already had gold pieces going on, but I don't have any gold Nuvo Drops. So I pulled out my silver and I switched gears, and I pulled out my gray ribbons and went with those cooler tones in my pattern papers so that I could make silver work and my silver alphabet and all that stuff. So I did start these on my own on that sheet of parchment paper. Now, the drawback of parchment paper, which I'm slowly realizing, is that it wrinkles and it can make your shapes work unevenly. So I switched over to using a nonstick craft mat, and I put it inside of this lid of a box that I use as a tray, and that makes it very easy for me to, once I've got wet stuff, I can just pick up the whole tray and set it aside to dry. So I am making my own little enamel puffy pieces out of these Nuvo Drops, and I've done this before in previous videos. If you like this kind of thing, I've done various fun things with Nuvo Drops if you want to go look at previous videos. So I am just making a circular pool of the silver, and then on top of that, while it's all still wet, I am using this pink to draw little hearts. Now, it's a little hard to see right now, but I will give you a bit of a close-up view, and I am trying to work to the camera so that it makes it easier to see. And how I do my little heart shapes is I just draw a very simple Y shape, and then I just gently add little dots of Nuvo Drop into the areas to fill it into a heart shape. And the reason I do that is because this stuff will spread on you a little bit as you're working with it, and if you draw your heart shape right away, it might spread too much and then you'll lose the definition of your heart. So I start with that Y shape and then fill it in. And I'm doing a few more enamel drops in just dot shapes because the dots on my parchment paper had gotten a little wonky, like I said, because of the wrinkling. So that was all of the stuff that I put together for this kit. Now, if you've seen my previous kit video in January, you will have heard that I was trying to make smaller kits for this year. But because I'm working on this layout a day project called Load, that means I'm going to be making 28 layouts this month. And so I wanted to have plenty of kit supplies on hand to make creating fast and easy and help me get through making a layout a day. I will have a link in the show notes for you on the Layout a Day project. Do go check out the Counterfeit Kit Challenge project and see all the other designers' takes on the inspiration. It's really fun to see how different designers take the same inspiration and go in very different directions. And it all depends on the supplies that you have at home and the things that you like to use. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and next week I will be using this kit and my previous kit from this week to do layout process videos, so do join me next time.